when we go to the outside, obviously that's been a position going back the last 3 or 4 years, edge rusher with the likes of Greg Rousseau and Jalen Phillips and oh my goodness, Quincy Roche. That there have been some players with some
John Garvin, Joe Jackson, Trent Harris, Chad Thomas.
It's been a position of strength. So
absolutely,
where are we going this year?
We got some young help. So I actually start off on the weak side for this one. I think, again, to start off, I believe Jahfari, Harvey, and Chantz Williams will be our starters, in my opinion. But I'm going to start out with the two young freshmen, and then I'll work my way up to Jahfari, Harvey, and Chantz Williams. So I start off with the borderline 5-star, the 6'5", 215-pound. Yes, I said that right. He's still light in the behind right now. He's still growing. And that is the surprise of the Army All-America game. It's Cyrus Moss. Now, Cyrus Moss is rocking a kind of unorthodox number, rocking number 39 as a freshman. I don't know if he wanted number 9 and they told him he had to earn a lower number or something. But, hey, the player makes the number, not the number make the player. And this young man is converting to a true defensive end. Okay, in his scheme out in Bishop Gorman, they ran what is called a 3-3-5 stack. And so he was an off-the-ball linebacker, and he also rushed the passer on passing downs. And that's what he was brought here to do. But, I mean, if you watch his film, he's legit, covering slots and stuff like that, and covering tight ends and the air-rated West Coast high school football that's going on right now. He's a playmaker. He's learning and getting used to how to play ball at this level. He looks real thin, real thin out there, lined up against some of these guys who have been at Miami for a while, and that's all right. He's just turned 18. He's fresh to the University of Miami, fresh to the University of Miami's football program, and we were blessed. And he also handled things in the classroom, Mark, to where he was able to graduate early and early enroll. I see him being north of 230, maybe 240 by August, like that. Easily 5 months away with the training that is required at Miami, with the training that's happening with our new staff. I can easily see him gaining the proper weight and taking off and doing this thing. Now, if he's going to be some big, massive freshman All-American, I don't really know. I think he can play what John Garvin did back in 2017, where you just rush the passer. You come on to literally just rush the passer. So it's 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 18 or 3rd and 10, and then you just take off the edge, just be able to rush the passer and then jog back to the sideline and let the older guys handle, first and second down. Also talk about Nigel Kelly, a local Fort Lauderdale guy also who went to Dillard High School. Nigel comes in at 6'3", 240. Now, he's a bigger guy. Now, most have been talking about having him on the strong side, but either way, I'm just going down a list of people who I would think will be playing weak side defense here right now. I could be wrong. Who cares? DN is DN, ain't it, to a certain extent. And he walks number 90. I like Nigel Kelly's ball, Mark, because he flies off the snap. And the first thing that all defensive line coaches will always tell you, of course, we start talking about hand placement and stance, but what about his first step? Whether Nigel played strong side DN, weak side, or D tackle in his high school film, he flew off the ball. And that's a beautiful thing. You need young men who understand the importance of flying off of that football. We could teach everything else. We could teach hand placement. We could teach balance. We could teach leverage. We can teach, starter stance. We can teach blitz coverages. We can do all that. But what about the one thing that you bring to the table at defensive line? And it's the get off, the get off, the get off. And Nigel Kelly already has that. Now, what you would love, Mark, I just gave you 2 freshmen, 4-star freshman recruits. What you would love is if those young men can take red shirts. If other young men on this team can step up, and these two are able to take red shirts or play a little bit and then take red shirts, at the end of the season with the 4 games, because it doesn't have to be the first 4, just 4 games, period. And then you take a red shirt. That's what you would want. We'll see if we get that opportunity, but those are the two youngsters. Jahfari Ismail. Jahfari Ismail, one of the Miami Hurricanes fan base's favorite names to be brought up right now, Mark. Everyone's talking about Jahfari Ismail. Why? He is the son of current strength and conditioning assistant coach, Coach Ismail, who's currently on the team right now with the staff. Former 4-star recruit in of himself, but he's eating weights, Mark. I'm telling you, I'm over here drinking water. He got protein in his all the time, Mark. The man is big, and he's really embraced the weight room. He's embraced nutrition, and I love to see that with these young men who come in with that kind of wiry, skinny frame, and then you see them and they just like yoked up and big, and it's a good feeling to know that they have embraced wholeheartedly what it takes to play at this level, at least the first half, the strength and conditioning half, because believe it or not, Mark, it's the hardest thing to get through the thick skull of young men. Is you gotta fall in love with the weight room and the playbook first. On the football field will come with time, but your highest effort has to be in our playbook, in your school books, and in the weight room. And the last 3 names I've listed off to you, all 3 of those young men have understood that and really dedicated themselves to the 4-quarter program that Coach Cristobal and Coach Aaron Feld and their assistants have brought to the University of Miami. 6'5", 250 pound Mark. He signed at 215. He's 250 right now, Mark. That's what I'm talking about. Effort. I love it. I love the effort. Well, actually, Jahfari's a redshirt freshman, so he's been here about a
year and a half,
year
and a few months.
Yeah. But it shows that they care. One of the things that a lot of us wish we could, I wish I would is not a good feeling. But strength and conditioning, if you ask a lot of people who may not have had the best college careers, that's one thing they will say. I wish I took nutrition and strength and conditioning more seriously. It's one of those things that, playing ball is playing ball. But if you want to play ball at the highest level, you got to be in your best shape possible. Okay. And we'll go on to Thomas Davis, another rotational guy right now, in my opinion. 6'1", 220 pound redshirt freshman wearing number 95. Again, I mean no disrespect by saying that, but I just think that there are other people who are better right now. I just think that he is a rotational pass rusher for Miami. Now, let's get into some of the guys who have been here for a while. Jahfari Harvey, not Jahfari Harvey, Jahfari Harvey. 6'3", 252 pound redshirt sophomore. I think he's a 4-year guy because of COVID, because he got 19, 20, 21, and 22. Yeah, he's a 4-year guy. He wears number 12. With Jahfari Harvey, we're waiting on him to turn the corner. We're waiting on him to take that next step. He by no means is bad. He's by no means trash or anything like that. But, there came a point in all of those previous guys that you brought up, Joe Jackson, John Garvin, Greg Rousseau, Quincy Roche was here for a little bit, so was Jalen Phillips. They had a season, okay? They had a season where they went off, 18 plus TFLs, 7 or 8 plus sacks, and we've yet to see that from number 12. I, for one, have been a very big fan of Jahfari Harvey. There's nothing like these young, humble young men that come into your program, but sometimes you just want to see them take off, cut loose, and go out there and kick some ass. And that's what we're waiting on with Jahfari Harvey. And I think it's there for him, for the taking, because it's go time. You've been in college for 4 years, and he still has 2 years left for eligibility, but he graduates soon. And you want to really start taking advantage of stuff like that and making plays. And I think he's on his way. Chance Williams, 6'4", 255-pound, true sophomore. He wears number 33. Now, Chance Williams last season showed some flashes. Michigan State, big sack with us trying to get back in the game. Uh, Alabama had a strip sack that I talked about earlier that Jordan Miller picked up. Flashed plenty of times. Bigger than you think. Not necessarily the most technically sound young man, but aggressive. All right. Now, if you bring aggression, you got size, you got athleticism. Those are things I can't teach. The other stuff I can. I can't teach you the technique. I can't teach you alignment. I can't teach you those kind of things. And as you can see right there from his stats, he may not have the most stats, but when he gets opportunities, he makes some plays. Okay. I definitely think that he'll have way more than 1.5 sacks once he's a full-time starter here. And again, I think him and Jahfari will be on opposite ends, unless, let's say, for example, a Cyrus Moss, a Jabari Ishmael, someone like that really jumps out on the weak side. Then I could see, Coach Rod Wright putting both of those two on the same side on the strong side and having them hold it down against tight ends and right tackles and let the young guy rush the passer off the weak side against the left tackle, especially on third downs. Okay. Elijah Roberts, 6'4", 275-pound, true sophomore, wearing number 99. You want my mystery player of the week, Elijah Roberts. He's the guy I'm willing to hitch my wagon to and say, I'm going to be here and say he's a surprise player at the end of the season. He is good. Now, Mark, when you go pull up those stats, you're going to see he may not have the same stats. Small production. Remind you, previous staff gave everybody like 5 reps a game, so it was kind of weird. But he had 2 plays that come to mind. 2 against Michigan State, also against a Big Ten second-team all-conference right tackle. Got in and had a half sack with Chantz Williams in the backfield. Then you don't really see him play much for a while. Next big play that pops up, he's playing Duke, and he's playing on the interior, which I think he can really eat up as a 3 technique. Play some strong side D, no problem, but on passing downs, I would love to see him come in and play 3 technique. So he stacks up the guard, pulls the guard. The running back runs right into him. He wraps him up, yanks him to the ground, but as he's throwing him to the ground, he hooked that arm, ripped the ball up, and grabbed the ball in midair and started taking it back for a touchdown. And you sit there and you're like, well, damn, where that's been? And man, his family is very active on social media. Him not so much, but his family is his father and his mother. But they, I think Elijah is a really good prospect, and I love to see what he brings to the table. So that is the defensive ends, edge, and strong side players for the University of Miami, a position that is very, very important to me. And I'm glad we started with defensive line, Mark.